This is an Armstrong International podcast, sharing insight on the world of FX and what we are experiencing in the market today.
Hi, I'm Iona from Armstrong International. I have Greg Armon-Jones, who runs our foreign exchange business. Can you tell us a bit about your background?
Yep, thank you. I've been an FX headhunter since 2005. I've been running the FX search business here at Armstrong for 10 years now. I specialise within foreign exchange trading, sales, e-commerce, within investment banking and the buy side, placing people here in London, New York and Asia.
So what is happening in the world of FX? With Brexit, how is this affecting your market?
The uncertainty is not helping. We still don't know what type of Brexit we're getting, how this is going to impact financial institutions. With the euro, the second most traded currency, most of the banks are having to prepare for Brexit, the possibility of having to trade the euro outside of London. A lot of them have arranged to have offices or new offices in centres such as Paris or Frankfurt, but the relocation of staff has not really started yet.
Will this mean there will be less opportunity for FX traders and salespeople in the UK?
For now, London is still the foreign exchange capital of the world. A lot of the large currency and macro funds are still based here. A lot of the investment banks still have their global heads of FX based here. 2017 was a tough year for most of the buy side and the sell side. And with that, we're seeing a number of the banks wanting to make strategic hires to improve their businesses. I suppose you can probably compare that in the same way as a football team looks to strengthen its squad or bring in a key player or a key striker or defender. Right now, I'm probably seeing more movement across the foreign exchange trading side.
So who is hiring right now? Where is the opportunity if you're working in these markets?
Without naming specific banks, there are some that are having to make key hires due to losing key people to their competition, and even their clients. The hedge funds are still trying to hire people from banks. In G10 foreign exchange options market, that's quite busy right now, as is the spot market. But both these areas have been relatively quiet for the last 24 months. But we are seeing them beginning to build out those desks.
And what about in sales?
That's been a little bit more subdued. Banks are still waiting to see what they might need to do post-Brexit before hiring new people. And also desks are still on the sales side getting a little bit smaller. There's less demand to bring in new people.
So Greg, what are the biggest challenges the FX market faces right now?
I think banks have probably two key challenges. First, just continue to retain their top traders from the buy side, specifically the hedge funds. And I think diversity is still an issue, one that's slowly being addressed. But whilst I don't think it's an issue so much in the sales world, across trading, specifically FX spot trading, there's a real shortage of women still in the marketplace.
And what about people working within the FX market?
I suppose redundancies are still a concern for a lot of people within the foreign exchange market right now. There's still pressure from heads of markets and heads of fixed income to reduce head count or save money where they can. And so this year I've already seen a number of banks lose salespeople in particular.
And just on that subject, how should someone approach being made redundant?
With great sadness, probably. Some are slightly happier than others, depending on the redundancy package. But in seriousness, probably last year, half the people I placed had been made redundant. And so I think probably the best advice I can give anyone, whether they're a VP or a managing director, is to prepare for this situation and the event that they might get made redundant one day. I think no matter which area of banking or which product you're in, it's always good to be aware of people like me, headhunters who specialise within your area. You need to work out as an individual who the best ones are or who the ones that actually know your market. And with that, as you get to know them, asking them questions like who they've placed or which clients they work for, or if anyone's called you in the past who's got an interesting mandate from a credible institution that you might want to work for, you getting close to those people just gives you kind of an insurance policy for the future.
Okay, and just to round this up, what advice would you give to any associates or VPs out there?
I suppose the best advice I can give on that, as well as much as I'm a headhunter and we take people out of institutions and we're always looking to tap people up in that way, is not to move early, not to move too early in that sense. If you are learning and there are smart people around you and you're getting and gaining responsibility, It's important as an associate or a VP to keep them around you and learn. Obviously, if you get approached by a bank or a hedge fund and potentially there is a better opportunity there for you to learn more than you're doing right now, then that's great. It's worth having that conversation. But I often use the Moneyball approach to tracking talent. And so you as an individual, it's probably worth looking at your banking or hedge fund career, looking at maybe a 15 or 20 year period of your life, maybe using websites like LinkedIn and kind of compare people who are at the top right now and seeing how they got there, how long they stayed at specific institutions, and maybe working out where you're not so strong at and where you want to continue to learn within the people around you.
That's great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Armstrong International podcast. For more information on what we do, please visit www.armstrongint.com.